All right, we are joined now from the border by our friends Congressman Babin and Jodey Arrington. They are leading part of the Texas GOP delegation on a land, air, and sea assessment of this crisis at our southern border. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time.
Great to be with you, Rob.
Absolutely. So, Congressman Arrington, we're going to start with you. You're right there on the Rio Grande. What is the most pressing problem you have seen since you've been down there?
Well, the pressing problem is that the signal is loud and clear from this administration that there'll be no accountability for the laws of our land. And so this administration has enabled the drug cartels to line their pockets with trafficking people in droves to our country. They know exactly how to exploit our system, and they are absolutely taking advantage of these poor people. But we've seen, you can look into the faces of these people. They're clearly in shock, no telling the kind of trauma they've taken on in this journey. We understand that 1 out of every 3 women are assaulted. It's just a horrible situation for everybody involved, and it's certainly not compassionate or humane like some of my Democrat colleagues would like to believe when you open the borders up and when you don't enforce the laws.
You make a good point. Congressman Babin, I want to talk to you about the Donna facility. You observed it yesterday and today. The media got its first look today. It's obviously a big deal. Some of these photos, these videos, young kids in these pens, a lot of them, though, are actually working-age teenage boys, and that might be part of the problem as well. A lot of people are older saying they're younger, trying to get in as kids. And I guess further than that, what are we going to do with thousands and thousands of children in this country that don't have parents?
That is an excellent question because they're overwhelmed. I mean, the facility we saw yesterday in Donna is really with COVID capacity of a maximum of 250 people. They got 5,700 folks in that facility, and it is incredible to see how they're packed in there. And as a healthcare practitioner myself, during a COVID pandemic, we're still locked down wearing masks. Dr. Fauci, President Biden is telling us we're going to have to wear masks all the way up until July and even beyond. And they're letting and releasing COVID positive illegals into the country. Right. They don't test for COVID unless they show symptoms. And even at that, there's 5 to 10% infection rate. And we know that young people, and that's who these are in this facility, young people don't always exhibit symptoms, but yet they can be carriers. So it's outrageous what this administration is doing to the American people, to our safety, to our security, and simply they're just covering it up. I mean, they've never admitted that it's a crisis. It's a catastrophe what's going on out there, and we've seen them firsthand. We've seen these people coming over in droves. We've seen the rollback of the really effective Trump policies that were developed over a 4-year period of time. Right. And the Biden administration just can't see the reality of what they're doing to the American people. Yeah, understood. It's shameful. And it's a failure of America.
It's a mess, and I still just wonder, and I don't think anybody has an answer to it, what are we going to do with all of these kids? Congressman Arrington, the media spoke to Border Patrol agents. Here's what one agent had to say about the surge at the border. Take a listen.
We're close to already 500,000 people encountered along the southwest border. I fully expect, our Border Patrol agents to encounter over 1 million people this year.
So that's what Border Patrol is expecting. It's a huge number. They said some 900 criminal illegal aliens have already been arrested. What is your message to the vice president, who now is in some ways in charge of this, who is refusing to come see all this?
Well, my message to the president is very simple and should be very straightforward. As our commander-in-chief, his first and most important job is to protect our citizens. The second is the Constitution, which he swore an oath to uphold, to protect and defend, says that his job is to faithfully execute the laws of this land. And when he doesn't, when he placates to the left and the open border advocates, like his vice president, quite frankly. You get chaos here at the border. We talk to landowners who are scared to death. We've talked to local stakeholders in education and health care. These folks are overwhelmed, they're overrun, and their federal government has abandoned them. They feel like their government has failed them, and they're exactly right. God bless Texas, because our governor and our local and state law enforcement has stepped up. But it's not right, and it's more than discouraging. It's more than disheartening. It is a failure, and this president has to step up, own it, quit blaming President Trump, and quit making excuses and lead. That's what the American people need. That's what the people along the border need right now.
Absolutely. Congressman Babin, you tweeted out this: cartels are having a field day because of Biden's failure on the southwest border. Agents on the ground recently seized 8 million doses of fentanyl. FYI, consuming as little as 0.25 milligrams can kill you. It's powerful stuff. Thanks for the update, DEA, and all the work that you do to protect us. So, I mean, really the big winners in all of this, when you look at it, are these cartels. I mean, the left thinks they're doing something for these poor migrants, but the people that are really coming out ahead are cartels, right?
There is no question the cartels have been empowered. And in the name of humanity, the Biden administration, as I said earlier, has rolled back all these policies that were very, very effective. Yeah. And it is the cartels are making money hand over fist, not only in human trafficking, but as you said, in the drug trade. And what they'll do is they'll create diversions. The Border Patrol will pull folks off the line. They'll pull hundreds of people off the line to go take care of children and process folks that are turning themselves in by the thousands, and that leaves a big gap in the line. And so let me tell you, the cartels know what's going on, and they exploit that to the maximum. Right. And we had a great visit yesterday with the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA. We talked to Coast Guard. We saw piles and piles of fentanyl, of marijuana. We just saw a truck that was full of literally tons of marijuana here in Laredo, and they are absolutely enriching and empowering the drug cartels at the expense of the safety of our American citizenry. And as we said earlier, the Biden administration is actually, they're missing in action here. We actually invited Vice President Kamala Harris to come with us and join us at some of these, on our itinerary, some of these stops that we've had the last several days. All we heard was crickets. And so they need to come down here, and they need to see things for themselves. And the American people, thank you, Rob, for getting the message out. Thank you to Newsmax and other news outlets that will tell the truth, because that's what the American people need to hear. Absolutely. They're not getting the truth from the Biden administration. No. Thank you for doing that. Let's get the word out, because they need to make some drastic changes.
Yeah, and thank you, gentlemen, both for pounding away at this issue, because you are changing a lot of minds. We saw the numbers today, and the amount of people in this country that approve of this right now is dropping, and dropping fast. People don't like what they're seeing. So thank you for the time, gentlemen. Both the Congressman from Texas, Jodey Arrington, Brian Babin. Good to see you guys. Coming up, the left pushing hard for a vaccine pact.